Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome back to another Going Old School Retro Discussions. And I hope you all are doing well. It's just another rainy day here in Florida right now, and I'm sure hoping that it doesn't knock my power out. What's going on? What's going on, Bear? Good to see you, Bear. RR, what's up, buddy? LDG of Geeks Enjoy, what's going on? And we have with us Jens. What's going on, Jens?
Yeah, so just glad to be on another retro stream and that.
Man, it's always a good time for a retro stream. I love doing my retro streams. You know what? It's one of those things that, we go back and we remember all those things from years past, and it's something that can actually bring a lot of people together because a lot of people remember a lot of these things from the past, man. They love to be able to talk about these things. We love to be able to get in there and talk with the chat. And, I love asking the people in the chat, too, what do you remember from your childhood? Like, what era, what franchises stood out to you from all those years past? I'm going to pose that question right to the people right there in the chat right now. If there is one franchise in particular, and I don't care if it's a franchise, whether it's a movie, it's a TV show, it could be a band, it could be a place, it could be something like Toys R Us or maybe KB Toys or something like that. People in the chat, what is your favorite thing from like years gone that's either no longer around or it's changed? What's going on, Sentinel? Yeah. I mean, is there one thing from you? What is the one thing from your past that stands out the most, Jens?
Well, probably the He-Man figures, but I'd say in all arcades, the arcades is one of our generations that not many before or after our generation are gonna see much of. There is no, but not
that is definitely something that has kind of disappeared. I mean, there's a few places here and there that might have a few arcades, but the old school arcades where you would go to the malls. Or I remember, I've talked about this one before. There was this Asbury Park. Asbury Park is still there. It hasn't disappeared. But they used to have a big, giant Palace amusement park in there, and they had all these arcade games just filling this place up. Like the place was the size of a giant warehouse right along off the boardwalk on the beach. And there was tons of video games. But
because
is it the Chuck E. Cheese? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, my daughter loved that place. And RR says Thundercats.
Yeah. Good. I would say with them big arcade places, they'd have had 2 or 3 same machines, so popular ones. So you was pretty much guaranteed that you would be able to go on the game you wanted. You wouldn't have to queue up, because sometimes you have to queue up, wouldn't you, if someone was.
Oh, yeah. A lot of the smaller, especially the smaller arcades, because there was a few of the smaller arcades with, it's a much smaller building, and they usually only have, one of each cabinet. So when you go in there, and if there was a certain game that was hot at the time, and I don't care if it was Street Fighter, I don't care if it was Mortal Kombat, whatever it was, you would have to sit there and put your quarters on the top of the arcade cabinet to wait your turn. And it was the same thing with a lot of the pinball games. You would get the pinball games, they'd be lining up their quarters on the glass along the side.
Yeah.
Had a 2-story arcade in it. Yeah, I remember Chuck E. Cheese used to have the arcades too. I'm not sure, but I heard that Chuck E. Cheese was going out of business, and where a lot of them were at least closing down. I know the one we have down here in Florida. Oh, we're also being joined by Bear.
Hey,
Bear.
How's it going?
Bear? Yeah, I'm not sure, LDJ. I mean, I heard that they were being closed down. The one we have out here in Florida, the one that was near us, that's been shut down.
What's been shut
down? I don't
down?
know if they're still open or not. The old Chuck E. Cheeses.
Oh, we have Chuck E. Cheese around here.
Oh, you still have one?
Yeah. There's a few actually. There's somewhere in the Thurston County area, and I know there's one up in Pierce County. Not sure if it's in Fife or if it's in Tacoma, because Fife and Tacoma, they're right next to each other. Cross the river and you're in Fife. I think that might be the Puyallup River. Because when you go into the port, if you go toward the port of Tacoma, there's a right turn you can make, and that bridge there will take you across the river to Fife. And I believe the Little Caesars is right there. And there's one around here too, because I've actually Ubered Little Caesars pizza for the boys.
Nice.
Uber delivers Little Caesars. And Chuck E. Cheese, they also deliver Chuck E. Cheese. Because there's a
really?
Chuck E. There's a lot of Chuck E. Cheese locations. There's one up in there's one up in Fife, and there's one in Tacoma, and Little Caesars are all over the place over here.
Yeah, I say I remember, then at the time it was just like their pizza wasn't even a big thing. It was like a kind of a side thing because you're really going there. They want you to spend money on the arcades because they were doing all the deals in the Chuck E. Cheese where you go in and maybe if you bought a pizza and some drinks, and then of course you were going to buy a whole bunch of the tokens to be able to play the games. That was like the big thing at Chuck E. Cheese, trying to get people in on all those tokens. RR says he misses pizza pubs with arcades. LDG says it went woke here. Fun and Wheels was better in Florida. And Chucky's turned into Showbiz Pizza. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's what a lot of those places did.
Showbiz. Was there actual Showbiz Pizza? That sounds oddly familiar. Even though when I was 3, my nickname was Showbiz.
So Jens, you were talking about arcades. Was there a particular cabinet that you liked more than the other ones?
Oh yeah. Well, one of my favorites must have been Narcs, just because like you just go you'd be proper blasting shit from the start once you like just and it would be like parts flying over and that, and it was like a 2-player. And it was like one of them wide screens. It was like I can remember when they started making bigger cabinets for like 4-player, but even though it was a 2-player, but it was in like a 4-player cabinet, and yeah, it was one of my favorites. Apart from like Double Dragon, there was probably 2 games I liked.
Bear, was there like a favorite cabinet that you had from back in the day?
Arcade cabinet?
Yeah.
Shit, man. Recently I've been playing all kinds of old school arcade games because good friend of mine got a Pi arcade emulator.
Okay.
And we played every kind of arcade game that you can think of, all the old school ones, Pac-Man, Centipede, Gauntlet, Galaga. I mean, plus we have a lot of Japan only games that we ran across. That says only in Japan allowed and wasn't copyrighted and these are old games, so they're no longer like in copyright, and so it wouldn't really matter if you live stream something like that because it's old stuff.
Yeah, talk about them old Japanese.
And what's really cool. What's really cool is the cabinet. He put it in an actual arcade cabinet. Something Patrol, Bomb Patrol. What the hell is the name of that? Something Patrol. Remember the tank?
He basically got an old skeletal cabinet and just put that in there.
Yeah, because the game used to actually work. That was in it, and I think it was the what's that game where it's a tank on wheels and it's shooting forwards and shooting up? Tank Patrol. It was a Pacific name. I can't remember the name of it. But when he, because there was a decal, a generic decal that was on the Moon Patrol. That's it. It's a Moon Patrol cabinet. I knew I'd remember it eventually. And basically what he had done is it had an old decal on the side and it looked horrible. And so what he did is he peeled the decals off and he discovered the old paint job underneath it. Moon Patrol. And so what he did is he lightly kind of just touched it up, and he didn't paint, but he used some solvents and lightly removed some of the stuff on the outside so that way you could see it real good. So it's an old Moon Patrol cabinet that he put a 20-inch widescreen Prime TV in it, and we hooked up the emulator to it, and it's just like playing. He's in the joysticks. He routed and fixed all the joysticks to where they would work and all that stuff. So it's just like playing an old school arcade game, man. It's just freaking awesome.
That's pretty cool.
I
mean, I know
we've gone through like 5,000 games.
Well, I know. I mean, I know they have the ones right now where they, One Up Arcade is doing the ones that are very like the old arcade cabinets. The only difference is those are a little bit smaller than the standard arcade cabinet that used to be able to go out to the arcades and actually play. So there is that. I mean, they give you risers for them, but even then, they're just not quite as tall as the original ones. But they're very close in the way they look, and from my understanding, the way they play. I mean, I usually stop over and I check out 19K Fox because 19K Fox is really into all those one-up arcade cabinets, and you know what? They take me back to like that stuff from back then. I mean, it's so much like the original ones. What you got here, Jens?
The Moon Patrol cabinet.
Moon Patrol. Okay.
Yeah.
It looks a bit like
this Moon Patrol. The Moon Patrol we got, it's at least the cabinet. It's the if you look at see that picture on the far left right there, or right where it's right across from Jen's right there. Down one more. Down. Then one over.
Down and over.
One over. Other way.
The other way.
Other way.
The other way. The other
right
way.
There. That one.
That one.
Yeah.
And looks just like that. And that's what his cabinet looks like. Only difference is what he done is he redesigned the front panel for the joysticks and made it to where you can have the multi functions that you normally wouldn't be able to get in. It's like Galaga. It has all the buttons, source, and all that stuff. It's pretty freaking awesome, I gotta say. And this is exactly what he has right here, the old cabinet. Only thing he did is that piece where the joysticks are at, he made it just a hair bigger, and then and fabricated it and put it back in. I have a picture somewhere. I'm looking.
Brutal Morningwood. What's going on? Brutal Morningwood says, yeah, it's like a little mini version, right? I have 4 of them in my garage waiting for the cousin to pick them up. Well, this one is actually Bear's talking about one. He has a friend that actually took an original full scale Moon cabinet or Moon Patrol cabinet, and he actually rigged it with other games in there. So it's similar to Android. It's Pi. It's a Pi operating system. Yeah.
It's basically just gutting it and putting in
arcade emulator, basically.
Yeah. Putting in a real good PC and like you can. I've got like an emulator for my PC and bought a joystick or pad and that. Yeah, and I've been on loads of the like arcade and be easy just to like convert it into a cabinet. Bit messing around, like you need to know about woodwork and
old electronics and those things.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You not so much old, but you need to know how to get the TV monitor sort of fixed in because I think you use a different monitor to like what the old. But if you know about stuff, though,
he used a 20-inch smart TV.
Yeah.
And it fits, and it just freaking. And if there was a centimeter, if it was just a centimeter smaller, that shit would have gone scrape. It's tight. And he put a piece of cardboard painted black underneath it, flush against the glass, and it's like, wow, man, this thing looks really freaking awesome.
LDG said he enjoyed the Commando games. I remember the Commando games. And Brutal Morningwood, badass. That is old school. Yeah, and I love that old school stuff like that. I would love to be able to get one of those one-up arcades, but right now I don't have the room for it. I need my own little mini studio. I need my own private Tommy cave, or actually it'd probably be the collective caves because the guinea pigs are going to wind up taking over that when I create that room. But that'd be a lot of fun. Once I get that, I'll probably be able to get at least one of the one-up arcades in there, maybe 2. I don't know. I might get a pinball one. Because that was one of the things, I mean, like regular arcade cabinets, my favorite arcade cabinet of all times when I used to go out to Asbury Park was Sinistar. I don't know what it was about Sinistar. It was an extremely easy to play game. It was kind of similar. It was similar in vein to like Asteroids, except you got this big giant head called Sinistar that would come after you. I loved that game. I don't know what it was, the fascination I had with that game, but that was my favorite game at the time. But the other thing that I was extremely into was the old pinball games. And I liked the old school pinball games, like before the electronics, and a lot of the ones with the electronics afterwards. I couldn't get enough of those.
He's got a pinball machine too. Time Fantasy. Matter of fact, anyone out there that's got any Time Fantasy pinball bumpers, we need parts for it. Pretty much. Love that fucking pinball machine.
That's your Narc game.
Yeah, like yeah, I think there was extra buttons on it and all, because like you had like your machine gun, your rocket launcher, and then I think you had like a special call where it just bombed the shit out of the area that you was in.
Now I remember one of the games because that was a 2-player game, right, Narc?
Yeah.
Now, yeah, I remember like me and my friends, we used to go to a couple of the places, like one of the pizza shops, and they used to have like the Ninja Turtles 4-player game. Oh God, what was the other one? Final Fight and Streets of Rage.
Yeah, and they had like a wrestling game, didn't they? Where it was a 4-player with like
yeah, they did have a wrestling game. Oh God, what was that one called? That was so long ago.
There was one that was called WrestleMania.
Yeah, maybe
there was WrestleMania pinball machines. There was WrestleMania arcade games. Love those things, man. I spent a lot of time at Balls and Strikes in Portage.
Well, I remember there was an early wrestling game. And the early wrestling game didn't have any kind of affiliation with like WWE or any of the other. It was just it was like a generic wrestling game that they had in an arcade cabinet.
Some Mania, I think it was called what?
WrestleMania.
No, was it bad? But yeah, I had to get because that goes 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it was so ridiculous, but those games were fun though. Oh my God, I had so much fun playing those things, and I remember like the early days of the arcade cabinets and the arcades actually themselves. And I've talked about this before, is they used to have little ashtrays built on the side of some of the cabinets.
Yeah.
I mean, that was back in the day when you could still smoke in the damn malls and everything too.
Yeah. Ashtrays and everything. Indiana, they got rid of that finally about 2004, 2005. Because you were still able to, in Washington State, you were still able to smoke in restaurants. And they outlawed that. I want to say 2003 while I was in Indiana when they did that.
The Wrestle Fest.
Yeah.
Arcade, yeah.
Map Mania. That's what it was called.
That's what it was called, Map Mania, right? Because it wasn't affiliated with any of the
it wasn't affiliated with the WWF
or WWF or what was that? That was NWA at the time, I think.
NWA, yeah. There was one more too. I can't remember the name. There's another act. There was 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was a Southern promotion, which was like NWA originally, and eventually that got turned over into WCW, and then there was one out west. I always forget what that one was called. At one time, they had one called Stampede Wrestling, and they had a few of them. Oh, Maria with T and Telly. Hello there. Welcome.
Hello.
But oh my God, those games were so much fun. They were goofy. I mean, you look back at some of the stuff that they had back then, it seems goofy today, but it was a lot of fun back then. And this was actually top of the line graphics at the time too. I think a lot of people missed that point, that this was like top of the line. Like when a lot of these early games came out, they looked fantastic to everybody at the time. Because when games first came out, they were like these little stupid like pixels. There wasn't no real definition to them at all.
Definitely very rough edged
Mm-hmm.
those games.
Like it was almost like some of them were almost like stick figures on a screen.
Almost.
Like,
Pong, stuff like that in the early days.
Maria says some of them still have some great playtime. Yeah.
White line on black screen type video games, real basic.
Mhm.
You know, there was quite a few of those in the emulator.
Well, there was a lot of those. What do they call them? Oh God, I see. I know this too. It's the type of graphics that they used. They were like line graphics, like they were like strings. I forget exactly what they call it now. I have that right in my head because I've had this discussion with somebody before, and we were talking about it for hours. Goofy is better than insane. Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, yeah, a lot of those early arcade games, they had like the comic feel to them too. You know, sometimes the cartoon feel. Like they had that Dungeons and Dragons game that was based off the cartoon of the same name. So it had like cutscenes in it, like when you played the game. So I had cutscenes from like the cartoon. Jesus, that was so long ago. God damn.
Like,
yeah, Vector. Yeah.
Keep saying to myself, how many pictures back is that? Damn.
But yeah, I would love to see like arcades make a comeback, you know, and I was kind of hoping with the whole rise of the one-up arcade cabinets that maybe we might start seeing that at some point. But I think it's just at this point it's so expensive for them to produce these type of cabinets now. And then be able to put them into a building and be able to try to draw people in, especially with all the stupid restrictions that are going on. It's not like back in the day where there was no restrictions. But, I mean...
Yeah. We got municipalities basically bankrupting businesses.
Yeah, I mean, if we could ever get back to that point, though, where you could have, like, that communal arcade experience again, like the old days, man, that would be great for a lot of these kids that just don't have nothing better to do. At least it would get them outside. For at least a little while, so they go out to the arcade. I mean, and that was one of the things I really liked about places like Asbury Park, where they had these big arcade things where they were still partially open to the shore and everything. So you kind of getting that element of being indoors and being able to play games, but still getting a little bit of that outdoor type of feel.
Right.
Because you got all the salt air coming in and everything, and the beach is right there, the sunshine is right there. I mean, I think that's something that's sorely missed with kids today. I mean, because all they do 9 times out of 10 is they sit in their house and they play on a console, or they sit there and they play on their damn phones, and they don't do anything. At least with an arcade cabinet, they're standing up. And I mean, I remember at the time when they had all those dancing games too. All those kids were flocking around all those dancing games, getting in exercise, whether they knew it or not.
Those games were not only were they getting popular here, but people were crazy for those games in Japan. My God. They had nightclubs based off of those kind of games in Japan.
Yeah.
Big screens, craziness.
They need to make a comeback. Maria, remember when you could play a good game while you waited for your pizza to arrive at the table at the restaurant? Yeah.
Shakey's Pizza. Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just places like Chuck E. Cheese. Like every like decent like restaurant would have some like small arcade booth somewhere in the back somewhere for the kids to sit there and play while they were waiting for food. Even some of the ones that were at the bars, like, you know, when you go to like those the regular like pub, you know, restaurants, they would always have a couple arcades sitting around. There was one right there in Trenton my parents used to go to all the time called Nate's Pizza. It was a bar restaurant, you know, and they had a bunch of arcades in the back that I used to be able to go on and play. They were so much fun. Okay, Dance Superstation.
Yeah,
pretty much,
That one's, I ain't seen one of them before where it's got even disco lights above it. It's like, oh yeah, no, proper professionals, because I ain't got no bars to hold on to. It's like, no, you've got to know what you're doing.
Well, I mean, some of them had like those bars in the back. They weren't really so much for holding on to, but they were more for in case you fell backwards so you could lean up against them.
Yeah, that's a more traditional one. You could get the mats and all, couldn't you, for home entertainment? Yeah.
All right.
Citizen 333, what's going on? Welcome, buddy. There's an awesome old school arcade not far from me. I go there somewhat often. They got so many classic games, and they have a bar. It's called Dorky's Arcade. See, yeah, and I mean, there's a few places left that have that, but it's so far and few in between. I think one of the other ones is like they used to have Dave and Buster's, and there was another one that's more like I think in the Philly area. It's called Chicky and Pete's. They had some stuff like that, but still, it's not like the old days where it was just a big giant arcade, where they just had dozens upon dozens of different arcade cabinets and pinball machines. Arachnoid, yeah.
And it was the height of technology back then, wasn't it? And so you'd be like, wow, amazed by the graphics.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was one of the things that drew a lot of people in, especially for the newer games. Like, I remember when Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat had first come out, like, they were all the rage. And most of these places that were big arcades, they always had a couple of those units. They had a couple of those cabinets sitting in there because they were so popular.
Yeah.
And I mean, every year they were doing remakes of them too?
Oh, they were always redesigning them.
Yeah, the Mortal Kombat's got extra characters, didn't they, added and that?
Mm-hmm. Citizen 333 also says they have this game called Star Wars Battle Pod, where you sit in a cockpit type enclosure and you relive the battles from the original trilogy. Yeah. I remember they had the original one where it was like it was like an X-Wing fighter game, the very first one. And it had the old school, like the vector graphics and everything. And that thing, like everything was like, it was real simple looking, but it was really cool when they had the ones with the enclosure. I mean, they had it both in the stand up and they had the sit down version. But yeah, the sit down version, if you were lucky enough to be able to get in and play the damn thing, because usually that had people lined up ready to play it. And that's what a lot of those bigger ones like that did. And then they started coming out with the ones that had the guns and everything like that later on, and those were always extremely popular. Yeah, there goes the Star Wars one. That's one of them.
There was a really cool race car one that was a lot like that design.
Yeah, where you would sit down in it. Yep.
Yeah.
Test some up.
Rumble seat and everything.
Yeah, was it Test Drive? No, not Test Drive. Test some up. Or Stunt Driver. Wasn't it called Stunt Driver? We had to do little.
There was a couple different ones that were really cool.
Well, they had a couple that were like
featured. If you remember correctly, they featured one in Terminator 2.
Well, I remember they also had the ones that were like an open design where it was like you sit down in it like it's a car, but the top was open and like they had like pole position and they had a few other ones that were like that. And they also had the one that was like a motorcycle that you actually sat on and you had to lean your bike into the turns.
Oh, yeah.
Maria says those were big in Japan. King of the Hill had Bobby getting down with it.
No,
have you played the new version with Oculus? No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Wookie, what's going on, Wookie?
What's up, Wookie?
Everybody's always getting their mandated simulation. Yeah, Spy Hunter. Yep. That was another fun game. Holy crap. I love that one. We used to play that one for countless hours. Road Blasters. That's another good one. Mandated a simulation with jabs. No jabs. Arnold's not here today. I gave Arnold the night off.
Yeah.
I'm sure somewhere Vinny Fauci is running around on his birthday trying to get people to jab, but that's.
I guess we can confirm that Schwarzenegger's nerd card has definitely been pulled.
Oh yeah, it's been yanked. I mean, they don't even want to have nothing to do with him at the lifting competitions anymore.
Sponsors.
Super Sprint
bailed.
How about Paperboy? That was another fun one. No vaccinator. Nope.
Oh, hey, look at this one. I ain't seen this one before.
Oh, the Batman one?
Yeah.
Oh, I never seen that one either.
Yeah, I don't
Might be
think I recall seeing that at the arcades that I went to.
No, well, I remember like 2000 or odd, they started making racing cat where there was like the seats and everything like this, because it was like, oh yeah, if you're going to spend £1 on a game, you wanted to at least be sat down or whatever.
Now, explain to us Americans what a quid exactly is. I'm a little rusty on what a quid is.
What a quid is basically what it is. It's just like an octopus, but it's a squid. So they go down to the fish market and they buy
that's
squid.
not what I'm asking. So what is it, like 50 cents, $1, 25 cents? What is a quid exactly?
I think it's about 75 cents now.
Okay. It's right around. I thought it was right around 50 or 75 cents, or just under $1 or something.
Yeah. Because
Rampage.
Because there's so many different terms for some of the money in Great Britain. It's confusing.
Yeah. But most of it's London slang.
Pence. You got 1 pence. I'm like, what's a pence?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Around in my head.
There you go, Jens. Citizen 333 says they have that Batman game at that Dorky's arcade that he's talking about that's near him. You drive the Batmobile. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. Well, I would say it must be a new one because I've never seen it. Well, it should say when it was made, shouldn't it?
It should, but you know how some of these things are on the interwebs. Our Gauntlet was another. Yeah, I mean that was another one of those early simple games that it didn't have like tremendously good graphics, but that was a fun game to play. I mean, there was a few of them that were like that. But like my early remembering of some of those games is like Final Fight, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one. They also had the X-Men one. They had an X-Men one that was an arcade style too. That was a lot of fun. £1 sterling to be exact.
Wow.
Red Warrior needs food badly.
Gauntlet. We played every version of the old school Gauntlet. For some reason, the version that they had on the new version they had for I believe it was PlayStation 2 when it came out wouldn't emulate. It just would crash. But all the old school arcade Gauntlets, the old school ones, worked.
Oh, there's the pole position one. The big white one. Yeah.
But well, notice how I was about to go past it. Yeah, pole position. The graphics look a bit crap.
They were super simple back then. I mean,
yeah,
but they were fun. I mean, but even though they were super simple, like I said at the time, that was top notch. That was the be all end all of graphics at the time. The X-Men game, early RoboCop game too. Yeah, that was fun.
You know what messed me up when I was first went on pole position is if you see there, you got your gear stick, and so when you start, you're supposed to put your gear stick in low, and so you, like in normal cars, you go in a low gear, and then it's only like 2 gears, but once you hit that, then you switch to high. Well, I'd be rather starting off in high, and so my acceleration would be slow because I didn't even know about gears because I was about like 10 or whatever at the time. Or it'd start off in high or in low, and so I'd be all right at the start, but then I'd be getting overtook by cars halfway through, and it took me a good like few goes to realize, oh yeah, this gear stick does something. Like, oh yeah, you got to put it in low when you start off, and then high when you thingy, and like, yeah.
No,
Because usually car games were just you stepped on the accelerator and that was it. But this had like gears. First time I think gears got invented for arcade games.
yeah, they were doing a lot of good stuff with those games back then. They were making them fun, and they would. But I think at some point, you know, when they started losing their appeal is when I think when they tried to do too much with them, when they tried to overcomplicate them. Because when they were a little bit simpler, that's when everybody had so much fun with them. The minute they started overcomplicating is the minute that the arcade frenzy died down. And then, of course, you know, the rise of home consoles and all that stuff it killed a lot of the arcades.
Yeah, well, I think it was that time though, wasn't it, when the PlayStation 1 and you like Nintendo 64 came out, it was practically on par with the arcades at that stage. And that's when I think, yeah, they lost the appeal because they started going better graphics, but it was just like, yeah, they could have gone more simplified and had.
Well, I think when Nintendo first came out, I mean, Nintendo was probably way ahead of most of the other ones. And hey, Bruce Lombardo, what's going on? I think my favorite arcade game was TMNT. Yeah, I'd mentioned that one earlier. That was a good one. And he also says, I love pinball. The Bally Williams could do no wrong with pinball. Yeah, and Bally Williams made some of the best pinball games that were out there. But when Nintendo, by the time Nintendo came out and they made their first NES system, they were leaps and bounds ahead of all the other ones that were out there. I mean, they were ahead of, what was the other one that was out at the time? You had like the ColecoVision, you had the old Atari, you had the Texas Instrument, which I actually found on my father's house. I mean, the Nintendo was just leaps and bounds ahead of that, but it's still at that point they really weren't on par with the arcade cabinets that were out because
I remember the Nintendo and ColecoVision games. Those were kind of cool when they came out.
Yeah, but I'm like the original, like when they came out with the NES, they had a Ninja Turtle games for it. That was nowhere even close to that arcade cabinet right there. Not even close. Because that one looked a lot like the cartoons. The one on Nintendo, they were little blocky turtles and I agree, Tommy. The simplicity of the older games still hold their charm because of their simplistic fun. Exactly. I mean, and that was the thing I think a lot of people started missing when they wound up going like overboard with some of the stuff. Favorite pinball ever, F-14 Tomcat. Yeah, Adam's Family was the bestseller ever. But give me love the T2 pinball. Gorgon. I don't remember that one. New Iron Maiden Legacy of the Beast pinball machine is badass. Really?
Which one?
Iron Maiden Legacy of the Beast pinball game. What are you saying?
Oh, yeah.
Also have a thingy because it's got Iron Maiden in. Iron Maiden.
Hey, while we're on the pinball subject, Wookie, if you happen to ever see any Time Fantasy bumper parts, buddy of mine needs parts for his Time Fantasy pinball machine because there's bumpers that aren't working. Any Time Fantasy parts, let me know. We would like to play pinball and have all the bumpers working.
Yeah, interesting. Gorgon was the first speaking pinball. It had 7 words that we used in various sentences.
Really?
I really just don't remember that one offhand.
I don't either.
I might have played it, and maybe I'm just blanking on it.
Yeah, got the Trooper, so it must have been probably mid-80s.
That's pretty badass.
Mm.
See, now, if I ever seen like One Up Arcade doing one of those, I would definitely snag that. Bruce says before he went to the hospital, he played Black Knight 3. Gorgon was 1978. See, and I should remember that.
Yeah, they must be early pinball machines.
Yeah. Or that's exactly what I was saying. Nintendo was below the arcades, but leaps above the other systems and was graphically good enough to remind you of the arcades. Super Nintendo was the first system to get very close to the arcade graphics. Absolutely. Like when they came out with their Street Fighter version for the Super NES, you could hardly tell the difference between that and the arcade. Not to say that there wasn't a difference, there was, but it was so close, especially being in home with it, that it wasn't that big of a deal to most people. Legacy of the Beast is a new machine.
Now I remember this Cargon one. When you see the like.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Yeah, I do recall that. That was one of the games that was in that pub I was talking about.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Darius Munchausen, what's up, buddy? Welcome.
How's it going?
Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Nope. Absolutely not. You can't go wrong with Iron Maiden. Yeah, oh man, and I think that's one of the things that was actually really cool about a lot of the arcades that were out there is they would have that mix of some of the actual arcade cabinets with the amazing new graphics that they were working with, and then they would still have some of the classic pinball games along with some of the newer ones. Yeah, Tommy. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. I didn't even know they did it. Oh, yeah, I want one of them. Sure plays me in pinball.
Oh, so much fun. So much fun. I would love to have a few of those old ones, but I mean, like I said, even if one up can make them, I know One Up does pretty damn good machines. So if they ever made some of these, I'd probably get some of them. I mean, they're a little bit pricey, but there ain't nowhere near as pricey as some of these things. Like if you priced out what they're charging for a One Up pinball game, I think it's on average somewhere around like $400 some odd dollars up to about $700, and most of these things are running into thousands. So,
oh yeah,
look at that one. That says only $247.56.
Getting 100% working pinball machine and pay good money.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you something. If I had the money, I'd be definitely getting me saying one of them.
For a refurbished, that is not a bad price at all for that. I could definitely get one of them eventually.
I know. Hey, well, just give Uncle Jack's. I don't.
I need to win a lottery, right? I hear you, Bruce. Like to get all the games you want, absolutely. It's almost like you got to hit the lottery. Stern pinball machines run from $8,000 to $13,000. Yeah, some of them are extremely expensive.
Yeah, Retro Reverb. We're just giving an advertisement too. So if you want to send us a free pinball machine that you don't want.
Yeah, we'll send you business. We'll do a video about it. We'll do a whole retro discussions just about your pinball game. All you got to do is send us one.
Exactly. Yeah, send me your pinball machine and we'll do a review on it. Thanks.
God, I love that stuff. So one of the other things I was going to talk about today is I wanted to talk about some of the games and stuff like that. I always love talking about some of those old games and getting into discussion about that. But one of the other things I want to talk about, and the reason I want to talk about it now is because, well, I'm actually going back up north for a little while to finish off everything with the house for my father's estate and everything and get that all knocked out. So I'm not going to be around to actually make a video for it. But all right. One more from Bruce. Medieval Madness is one of the most popular machines. A company came out and offered brand new version of it with LED lights instead of the old style. That's pretty cool. But one of the things I want to talk about is on the 17th of this month, there's actually something that's a bit of a throwback for me, and it's It's something I would normally do a video and talk about it. So, produced by Sunbow and Marvel, originally slated as a 4-episode miniseries, or technically, it was also considered a mini movie. It explained the origins of how the war between the Autobots and Decepticons was brought to Earth, and it originally aired on September 17th of 1984, and it ran all the way to 1987. And I mean, some of the things that actually got included with the original Sunbow cartoons for Transformers was one thing that a lot of people like. What's going on, Chaos Hoy? Welcome. Yeah. One of the things that a lot of people missed when they actually did that remake on Netflix is there were some people that, like, oh, they never had all these female Autobots. Oh, contraire, mon frere. They did have female Autobots. A female Autobot team consisted of Elita 1, Chromia, Firestar, Moonracer, Greenlight, Lancer. And it was in the episode The Search for Alpha Trion, which was season 2, episode 32 in 1985.
You know what I remember?
Yeah, I mean, that was a good episode because they went back, because originally Optimus Prime went back because the Decepticons had caught Elita 1, and then they were going to go back to rescue her. And then they had a later episode where the aerial bots actually went back in time, and that's when we discover not only that Elita 1 was originally Ariel, but we discover Optimus Prime was Orion Pax, and how Orion Pax and Ariel were further linked besides the already mentioned boyfriend-girlfriend that they had actually showed when he was still Orion Pax and Ariel. But they showed what the further link was when Alpha Trion fixed both of them and turned him into Optimus Prime and turned her into Elita 1. So that was pretty interesting.
What I remember is there was a sexy chrome blue one and there was a sexy pink chrome one.
Right. The
chromatic color, that's what they look like.
Yeah, Moonracer was the blue one. And Chromia was like that chromish like blue color, and then Elita 1 was like a reddish pink. And then they also had Firestar. She was like a darker red, and then Greenlight, of course, is green. And if I remember correctly, I think Lancer was like a weird orangish color. If I remember correctly,
didn't they have like rollerblades they could use as well?
I think one of them might have, but no, it wasn't typical for all of them.
But I remember seeing one of them. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah, well, it was one of those things that, it was originally introduced in that series. And of course, one of the things that everybody mistakes, and they always think, well, RC was the first female Autobot. And that wasn't until 1986. And that was after season 2 had already aired. So, what's going on, Walt?
What's up, man? Also, that Moon Patrol cabinet at one time had the golden axe in it.
No, did it?
Yeah, it's because it's the old marquee on top of the glass piece says golden axe. Huh. I got a few pictures I found.
Yeah, the Search for Alpha Trion episode, absolutely. And they had female Autobots plenty. Yeah, and that was one of the things that a lot of people missed when they actually did the Netflix version. They thought that some people actually originally thought maybe they were gender swapping the robots. And no, it was already in there. It was in their pre-1986 movie. This was actually something that was written by Sunbow and Marvel, because, a lot of people mistake it and they actually think, well, Sunbow just did their own thing. They actually know they did work with Marvel. And I don't understand how Sunbow working with Marvel still screwed up some of the characters and miscolored them, but that actually was a pretty common occurrence with a lot of the cartoons back in the day. There would be miscolors, or they would have characters out of place, or their voices would be incorrectly assigned to a character. I mean, that was just one of the things that actually happened with some of the cartoons back in the day. But oh my God, I mean, the original Sunbow cartoon is actually what made the Transformers popular. And the comic book was great on its own, and it did help, but it did not capture the imagination of kids the way that cartoon did. And that's what actually drove the sales for the Transformers. And it was the same thing with G.I. Joe. As you look at G.I. Joe without that cartoon and without the comic book, would G.I. Joe have made the comeback that it did in 1982? I doubt it very highly. That cartoon is what really drove the sale of those figures again. And it was the same thing with the Transformers. And there were so many great episodes. I'm going to play this small clip to get everybody remembering the original Transformers from Sunbow.
The Transformers, more than meets the eye. Dispatch Rumble. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. I am Megatron, leader of the Decepticons. You will do exactly as I say. The Transformers, robots in disguise. Sticking in neutral, Megatron. You're not going anywhere. Try and stop me, Prime!
Many millions of years ago, on the planet Cybertron, life existed, but not life as we know it today. Intelligent robots that could think and feel inhabited the cities. They were called Autobots and Decepticons.
The Transformers, more than meets the eye. The Transformers.
Yeah, I do believe I have the whole season, first season, I believe, maybe the whole thing, because I've got like a box set.
Yeah, that was one of the things I missed out on, Bear. I wanted to get it, but at the time I was as broke as a joke, and I couldn't afford to get it.
I don't even know how I got it, man. It was just in my possession, and it's like I don't know how I got it. Just like it appeared or something weird. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, Stephen, absolutely. Childhood right there. And that was one of the reasons I wanted to talk about, because in 4 days is actually the date that it premiered in 1984 on September 17th. I mean, you know what? I love that cartoon. I love the Transformers as a whole, as a franchise. But that cartoon, it got everything going. It really did. I mean, if it wasn't for the comics, it never would have started. But the cartoon actually took it to a new stratosphere, and it opened the floodgates. And that was how the Transformers literally destroyed Tonka's GoBots. Because even though Tonka's GoBots had beaten the Transformers to the toy shelves by almost a year, once this cartoon hit and it captured everybody's imagination in a way that the GoBots just couldn't seem to do, it blew them right out of the water. And within a few years, the GoBots were on life support, and they were on their way out the door. Because, yeah, Sunbow, you know, I see what you're saying there, too, Bruce. Yeah, Sunbow doesn't get enough credit. Yeah, Sunbow did a tremendous job with this. But, of course, they did have Marvel backing them up when they were actually doing this series, too. So, I still don't understand how you miscolored Frenzy and Rumble. That was one of the things that always drove me nuts. And I know there's a few other channels that actually discuss Transformers, and they are under the belief, well, it appeared in Sunbow that way, and Rumble was blue, and, you know, Frenzy was red, and that's the way it should be. No, that's not the way it should be, because in the original comics, Frenzy was blue, Rumble was red and black. And the toys are the exact same way. So that's what the color should have been. That was just a mess up on Sunbow's part. But once they had already screwed it up and they ran so many episodes that way, there was no going back. They just left it as was. But yeah, but originally this was only supposed to be a 4-part series, and that was it. And it was actually the same thing with the comics. Comics were only supposed to be like 4 parts. It was so good to come home after school and watch this. Yeah, I mean, and that was the thing. I mean, not only was it the after school coming home and watching these cartoons, but it was like the Saturday morning cartoons where you would catch some of them too on replay and everything. I mean, it was a whole different time. I mean, did they even still have Saturday morning cartoons anymore?
What year was it?
Which?
Talking like 84, 86, yes. I think it was like in they started fading out right around the year 2000, Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah. I mean, I know that they were out in 84. Yeah, because I remember like as even going back to like the early 70s, late 70s, they had early morning cartoons. They were probably out even before that. Yeah, Rumble was a better asshole. Frenzy was kind of boring. The GoBots were the poor man's Transformers. I mean, that was the thing. They actually had a chance to do something good with the GoBots, but Tonka was not really ready to invest that kind of time, and neither was Bandai, because they had been already making the Machine Robo series for so long that they really weren't going to change their game much. I mean, they tried doing the Super GoBots, and I think they were a little bit late to the game putting them out. If they would have did them a little bit sooner, maybe they could have lasted a little longer against the Transformers, but I just don't think so. Because their cartoon, unlike the Transformers, the GoBots was definitely a lot more like small child oriented. So GoBots were okay. Transformers had imagination, a deep backstory for children's cartoon. It didn't treat kids like they couldn't understand the material. Exactly. It was, while it wasn't adult oriented, it required you to think just a little bit more. The GoBots were very simplistic in the way that they were portrayed in the original cartoons. GoBots had a line of Super GoBots. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, Bruce. But they didn't come out with them right away. And I think that was part of the problem, because when they originally had that Machine Robo line, pretty much what Tonka did is they just brought everything over exactly like it was with the original packaging that they were using in Japan, and they just slapped new names on it. I mean, even the original like MC001 or MC002 for all the names for the original GoBots that was part of the Machine Robo line carried over when they became GoBots, because even when you picked up those GoBots, it would still have the the MR, I'm sorry, not MC, MR for Machine Robo on the figure still. Nice. Complete first season.
Yeah. I'm double checking to make sure I don't got any other. But I had 2.
Oh, yeah. 25-year anniversary. See, I'm actually surprised, or maybe they did. They should have released one for the 35th anniversary, too. Because that's when I picked up my... oh God, what was it? It was like the 30th or 35th anniversary for the Transformers the movie.
Yeah, my boys had I had turned my boys onto this, and they were watching it, and then I discovered that they were abusing the case and the I believe it's DVDs.
No, not the discs.
And
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm all right if the case gets a bit scratched, but if the disc gets scratched, I'm like,
no, the disc didn't. They just got fingerprints and smudges, and I cleaned that, and
yeah,
I got that's the first complete season, and I seen what they were doing. I'm like, no. I grabbed that up and put it away. I'm like, no way. You ain't gonna do that. Now, there's the Time Fantasy pinball and the Moon Patrol cabinet. And you can see there's a golden axe plate. He put a custom one in there for the emulator, because you can see the emulator right there on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
That's the program.
Yeah, it's got like 4 buttons and 6 buttons.
Yeah,
and
that's
all.
you see this this centerpiece he made that for the controller and he put it all together. Now all these buttons, he replaced them with ones that are the same color, but they're lit up now. All these buttons are.
Yeah, so he's got his 6 buttons ready for Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I hear you. I hear you there, Bruce.
Here's a little. There's the new faceplate right there, but it didn't come out too good. That's when you put it in there. There's Galaga. It's one of the games. But yeah, pride and joy right there, though. I had to put that up. I'm like, no way, you're not screwing that up.
Now, I remember they actually had one of these big giant box ones where it was like this huge box of all the Transformers seasons. I mean, there was only 3, but those first 2 actually had a lot of episodes in them. The 3rd season was actually relatively short, because that's, it's when they got into the stuff after the movie, and it just didn't hold the same charm for a lot of people once, most of the main characters were gone, even though they brought Optimus Prime back, not once, but twice. It's still, it lost steam. And by the time they got to the Headmasters, I think they only did it was like a three episodes for the Headmasters, and then they ended it. And that was the last that you'd seen for the original G1 Transformers on cartoons. And they didn't come back until it was either Armada or was it Cybertron? It was either Cybertron or Armada. It was one of the two. And you know what? I didn't care for that one. Or no, actually, no, it was Beast Wars first. I almost forget about that one. Yeah, you didn't see him again until Beast Wars, which was a number of years later. Because they actually had the G2 line in between Beast Wars and the G1 line. And they did not do any cartoons for that. They did, however, do a Marvel Comics run for G2. And it failed. It failed so hard. It was canceled relatively quick. They even tried to play it off like this is not your father's Transformers, and stuff like that. And it just did not hit at all with anybody that was a fan of the Transformers, and it flopped. But the original G1 Sunbow, I mean, that's like the Bible to a lot of people when it comes to the Transformers. What's going on, Curtis? Beast Wars, yeah.
What's going on?
I almost forgot about Beast Wars because I was never a huge fan of Beast Wars. I know a lot of people are, but I mean, I grew up watching the original G1, so that's kind of my thing. Bruce says he had the 4-part comic and is still together at the parents' house. Yeah. And you know what? When they decided to continue that series because it actually sold so well and they put that first to fifth issue together with Shockwave on it, where the Transformers are all dead, that was like one of the most iconic comic book covers for the Transformers that I think I'd ever seen. That was like my favorite cover of all times. It was just amazing. And they actually took it someplace a little bit darker, I think, than minus the Netflix version, because the Netflix version took it really dark. But that Marvel comic, all the Autobots are defeated minus one. Oh, they're all dead. They're all hanging upside down, deactivated.
Wow.
Yeah, Beast Wars started out slow and the animation wasn't great by the end of the series. You know what? And I didn't really care much for that style of animation. It reminded me too much of like Max Headroom and stuff like that. And I was never a fan of Max Headroom. I remember seeing it. And I just wasn't like a huge fan of it. And I think that was probably part of it, why I wasn't into the Beast Wars that much. Not to say that they didn't
that particular kind of animation, I never really cared for it either.
Yeah, it's not to say that some of the stories weren't bad. Some of the stories were actually pretty well written for the Beast Wars. And they actually, they threw nods to the G1. I mean, they had one episode with Megatron in it. Like, I mean, granted, it was just his corpse, but they at least paid respect to the original G1 that gave rise to all that stuff. So I thought that was good. However, some of the other stuff that was in it, I just couldn't get into.
Yeah, what I couldn't get my head around was how can like these animals be like machines? Because like with trucks, cars, and aeroplanes, you can see, oh yeah, what? But it's like,
well, from what I remember, the planet they were on, it actually would short out electronic components. So they had a skin, an actual organic skin that went around their robotic bodies. That's why whenever you usually seen them on the surface of the planet, they were always in animal mode. Because if they weren't, it would fry their circuits and it would lock them up and freeze them up.
Ah, right. Yeah, so that to be some kind of like cyborg sort of.
Yeah, I mean, basically the same thing as like the Terminator, where it had organic on the outside.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it makes a bit of sense now.
But yeah, I mean, holy crap! Growing up with this cartoon, and then in 1986 when the movie came out, I didn't foresee that them stalling the way they did. But yeah, like the whole thing with Rodimus Prime and everything, while it was a pretty cool aspect that they created for the movie, but that's what they created it for. They created it for the movie. And then the toys came afterwards, but it still did not hold the same resonance and did not capture the imagination or the hearts of children the same way that the original G1 inspired characters did. All those original characters like Optimus Prime and Jazz, Ironhide, Ratchet, Wheeljack, Bumblebee, Cliffjumper, Windcharger, Ratchet, Trailbreaker. Like, it didn't capture kids' attention. It just didn't. Yeah, the Trance movie was so good. Yeah, it was amazing. I love that one. I actually got 2 copies of it. I picked up like the 35th anniversary copy and in the steelbook too. I got really lucky and found it at a very decent price. Yeah,
You
it's
got
supposed to be
touch. You got the power. Yeah.
and I think that was one of the things that Netflix missed out on when they did their 3rd chapter of the Kingdom. Is they didn't tie it in. It's called Earthrise. They didn't tie it into modern, or what would have been a modern Earth setting, the way the originals did. Not only the original cartoon, but the original comic book. They all tied it into Earth. Granted, it was Earth in the 80s, obviously, when it came out. So that's why you've seen a lot of vehicles like that were more, prone to being seen in the 80s, even like the old Volkswagen Beetles, because you were still seeing a ton of them.
Oh yeah, my mate had one. Beetles, they were like real reliable, and that's why they probably thought, oh yeah, they're going to be around for a bit.
Yeah, I was so sad to see the way it went out.
There's a Blu-ray version of the Transformers animation movie. Yep. The basically the 30th anniversary of the DVD, they came out with the Blu-ray too. $24.99. The DVD's $9.78.
Yeah, I wound
you gotta
up
be
picking-
careful sometimes when you find movies on Amazon, because you might be getting the Type 2 disc instead of a Region 1. Because you got to remember, anything in North America is Region 1. Every now and then, Amazon will have a Region 2, and those won't play on a Region 1 player unless you have a player that will play all regions.
Right. Yeah, I was talking to somebody else about that, and they said there's a way to go in and reset the region so you can watch whatever you want.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing there. Yeah.
Yeah, Rodimus was a whiny punk.
On a PC, it's fairly easy because you just put in a video player of which can.
Oh, did you know there's actually a Region 0? Holy cow! Apparently, it's Bermuda. No, basically, it says it will not play in U.S. territories, Canada, Bermuda. I guess you don't want to buy this one because it will not play.
What's up, Curtis?
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, okay.
What's up, Jens? Hey, what's up, Bear?
What's going on, man?
It's going. How y'all doing?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. I just received a package today.
Nice.
My widescreen version of Stargate SG-1 for a season.
Nice.
There you go. Heck yeah.
And I got a little, what you call a little Gidget doodad that came with it. I'll show you guys a picture of it here in a second. But let's say you got a port on your phone for your phone jack that's wore out. The phone jack's wore out. Well, I found a device where you can just plug into, if you have USB-C, you plug it in, and one end has a charging port for your charger, plug into, and then one end has a 3.5 jack you can plug your headphone into. Cool. Yeah. I was just browsing through this guy's page, and I'm like, you know what? That's going to be a darn handy little device.
Yeah.
It's no bigger than a freaking whistle. Kid you not? It's actually smaller than a whistle.
Oh, it's like a receiver.
Yeah, and now that you're in here, Curtis, do you remember like the G1 cartoon from Sunbow at all?
No, maybe I might have seen it a long time ago. I had a hard time watching those 80s cartoons, even X-Men, which I gave a little bit of slack, but even that one, I just had a hard time with that slow frame rate. Wasn't my
Yeah.
thing. I was the 90s kid. That's why I was like, Beast Wars was so cool to me because it was like, whoa, it was all clear and crisp.
Well,
But
I think
now it's aged so bad.
I was going to say, I think some people actually get like that if they're used to something that's a little bit more modern and they look back on an older cartoon, it doesn't look as good. I mean, it was the same thing we were talking earlier when we were talking about the video games. Like a lot of these people see these newer video games with all the bells and whistles, and they look back on one of these older games and they're like, man, that looks like shit. Look how bad those graphics are. But I think what people miss is that, like, at the time, that was like, that was the top end of graphics. And it was the same thing with a lot of these cartoons. This was the top end of animation at the time.
Yeah. You know what? I have a good memory, though. My friend, which
Tehillim 29, what's going on? Welcome. Sorry, Curtis.
It's okay. My friend introduced me to Terminator and Terminator 2 and a whole bunch, RoboCop, a whole bunch of these movies when I was a kid. I was a kid, but, we were those kids at the time, and we watched all those R-rated movies. And he was like, yo, we woke up one morning, a sleepover. I gotta show you this show. It only comes on at this time. You gotta see. It's so. Guess what kind of guns they got? I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to guess. And he's like, lasers. I'm like, whoa, And he showed me it, and I was so unimpressed. But I always remember how much he pumped me up. He loved Transformers.
Yeah, see,
it was one of the funnest. I love that memory.
I grew up on them, though. I grew up on that, like GoBots. I mean, even stuff that was a little bit earlier and stuff that, came a little bit later. But, I mean, there was a lot of those older cartoons that I used to watch. I mean, I used to watch the original 70s Spider-Man.
Oh,
I mean, that
70s,
the 70s cartoon Spider-Man. If you look at the animation for that as compared to some of the newer stuff, it almost looks kind of hokey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even the 90s has kind of choppy in a way compared to nowadays.
There's like 60s, 70s, late 60s, I think it was, like early 70s Spider-Man, where they just do his webbing on his mask. They don't even bother with the body because it's like, oh no, it's going to take too long. Just do his mask so we can like move it up and down when he's speaking.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, they didn't have the time to put the detail in back then.
No. Hail Darius, by the way.
Like some of the drawings look like they're done by kids, but it's just because it's like, right, as long as it looks half decent, yeah.
Well, I mean, that was the same thing. Even by the time they were doing the 1984 Transformers, they made a lot of mistakes. I mean, it wasn't just reserved to like the cartoons from the 70s and everything. They were making a lot of mistakes in the 80s. Like I said, when they did the miscolor of Rumble and Frenzy, there was actually a lot of other scenes where they actually miscolored some of the jets. I mean, that's how some of these other jets actually wound up being made. They were supposed to be Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp, and somebody colored them different. Next thing you know, you got new jets, and then you got what became the Rainmakers. I mean, that actually started because of a mistake that was made in the colorist booth.
Those are the cool mistakes,
Yeah, I can't stand them people who like pick up on them mistakes and like it's like, oh yeah, because like I was watching some He-Man and that, and there was one episode where Skeletor captures this kid, and He-Man has to walk this tightrope thing, and the tightrope, because Skeletor's controlling it, cuts off, right? And so He-Man jumps and grabs onto the ledge, but obviously whoever drew it didn't draw it correctly, and so it doesn't look like he's grabbed onto the ledge. It looks more like he's sort of like sticking onto the ledge, but then it's only for that fraction of a second, and then he like climbs over and that, and it's one of them where it's like, yeah, well,
Sunbow Marvel had a bad habit of animating someone speaking. Yeah. There was actually a few times where they had people misspeaking because they had the voices mixed up with the characters.
Oh, cool.
That's the USB thing you were talking about, Bear.
Yeah. Yeah, that's believe it or not, that's a USB-C port. There's the phone jack plug in, and you see the little bolt right there. You plug your charger in, which has the same port as right there.
Yeah. Makes life easy.
Oh yeah, and I was going through this electronic store on Amazon, and they had a bunch of little gadgets and gadgets, and I was like, "Holy cow, man! That would really come in handy if you don't have a Bluetooth on your phone for some speakers, earpieces."
Right.
So you could literally, if your port don't work, plug it in, plug your headphones in, and you can charge your battery at the same time. Genius. I seen it. I'm like, you know what? Gotta have it. Gotta have it. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna throw the picture of the Stargate in there.
Yeah, Robert Stack was awesome as Ultra Magnus. In RRR, Robert Stack did a great job voicing Magnus in Open. Oh, in the movie Open, damn it, Open. Yeah, you know what? And when they actually went to the third season of the Transformers, and they actually had that other actor that was doing Ultra Magnus' voice, it just didn't come off the same. And neither did Rodimus. I mean, you thought he was whiny in the movie. He was a lot more whiny in the damn cartoon show. But we were talking earlier about like arcade cabinets, Curtis. Did you have anything to weigh in on that?
No, I got finished with a movie, and I just looking at all the notifications. That's why I asked. I was like, I was pretty sure it was today because my Sundays is Retro Talk. So yeah, it's easy for me to remember. I just forgot.
I seen you just did Dog Day the other. Was that the other day or?
I did that one quite a while ago. I mean, like an actual, it took me a while to edit it down. But well, I was gonna ask you guys if you guys were talking about the new stuff, because I know there's a whole bunch of new stuff that was dropping today on Hawkeye and some other one I saw too. I forget right now.
No, I didn't see that.
Huh. Oh, God, it's going to kill me now. I can't remember what the other thing was. So I'm pretty sure it was also comic related. Oh, yeah. Bat Wheels or something. I think that's what it was.
Bat Wheels?
Yeah. It's a new show with Ethan Hawke.
Oh, boy.
Bat Wheels.
Yeah, it's like Transformers meets Batman vehicles and stuff, I guess. And it's for kids, so it's like their whole new marketing system, and DC I guess doesn't feel like they're capturing the youth like Marvel is.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah. That wokeism stuff is just really catchy, man. Everyone's buying it. No one ever said.
You know what? Yeah. And here's the thing: like, we can actually use that as an example. Like, they're trying to do anything they can, like gimmicky, to try to capture people's imagination with some of these franchises now. They didn't have to do that back in the day. You know what? I just seen that there was a set of toys that was recently released. They're doing the 66 Batman, Robin, and Joker in these new figures. The very articulated figures like they do right now. But it's the original 66 versions of cool. Batman, Robin, and the Joker. I guarantee you are not going to find them in a store anywhere if you go looking for them. You're not going to find them. They're going to be sold out. Because stuff like that it's still popular even today because it was of its time, it was unique, and it wasn't without soul. Like, it seems like a lot of this newer stuff they're doing, it doesn't seem to have any soul to it. It just seems to be like...
It's all formula.
Yeah, we're going to fancy it up and make it look like amazing, but it doesn't really look amazing. I think they missed that. Like, when I watched Batman versus Superman, that Batman did not scream Batman to me the way he looked.
Which one?
I'm not the Batman versus Superman.
Oh,
Granted, the actor doing it. Why am I blanking on his name?
Ben
What was the
Affleck.
actor? Affleck.
Mhm.
I don't think Affleck's voice and everything is bad for it. I think his voice was decent for it, but like the look, that it did not scream Batman to me at all.
Batman's a
No,
little bit more
like, well,
pointy, tall, a little
Yeah.
bit more thin in my mind. You know what I mean? I imagine the pointier ears, taller, more gothic. That was more cartoony, like the 90s cartoon brought to life, which I thought that's what they were trying to do, kind of.
Yeah. There's the first season of Stargate SG-1. And
Nice.
this is... I ordered it. It was brand new, but it looks like it was released a while back.
Uh-huh.
It's in the original packaging and all that stuff. And it's got the original season 1 sticker on it. You hardly ever see that on something that's basically released a while back.
Right.
And show you there's the backside. Pretty cool, man, I gotta say. I used to have I had the whole kit and caboodle every season in a box set in my cart saved, and it was the widescreen version, and it was like I want to say it was like $89 or something like that, somewhere in that price ballpark, and it was no longer available. And so what I decided to do is, well, I'm going to get the first season, and then I'll get piecemeal each one just like this.
Nice.
Well, sometimes with some of those shows, that's the only thing you can do.
I'm looking at it. I'm like, wow, do I open it? Do I open it?
You
No,
opened
man.
it because you bought it. Or the people making those cartoons had a very tight deadline. It wasn't as if they given the time to really give it their all. It's amazing that they were able to produce the quality they did. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And or also goes on to say it was the cartoon show that made Rodimus whiny. Absolutely. I think Judd Nelson did a very good job with Hot Rod and all the way up into Rodimus Prime. And Walton says he loves the 66 Batman, grew up in it on Nickelodeon. See, I remember watching on like the regular TV channels.
Yeah, broadcast.
Yeah, I used to have one of the TVs with the rabbit ears and the UHF and the VHF and all the freaking dials. Yeah, so much fun.
So you mentioned Batman, so we got to mention Superman. I just happened to have this picture that I had shared on Twitter a while back. You see this particular comic, it's unopened, never been opened. It's from 94. It's a die-cast, arrange your own comic. That's the front and back picture right there. And it's never been opened. It's from, I think it was 94. I think 94.
The front is so vibrant. I love that front.
Yeah, and that's the labeling on the outside. That's the cover. That's all the cover right there. All that imagery right there is on the plastic. And in the back, you see all the decals. And so you make your own story with this one. And I was in a thrift shop, and I seen you see the comics underneath it. There's the one under, there's one to the right and one to the left right there underneath it. And they're both from 93. Those two comics still in their sleeves, hardly touched. And that's why I got them, because they were the only ones like it. And I paid 50 cents a piece.
Wow. Yeah, and they don't make things like that.
Piece. No, they don't. So I was
such
like,
a cool idea.
And honestly, I don't know why I didn't buy every single one right then and there, because he had a halfway decent collection of comics from the 90s, early 90s, 93, 92s, and 94s and 95s. And really, I was looking for gems from like the 70s and the early.
Do you know why? Do you know why that actually makes sense that they would have something like that, Bear? I don't know if you remember. It actually started in the 80s and it ran into the early 90s. As they still had color forms.
Yeah,
do you remember them? Yeah, the color forms where you'd make your own storyboards and patterns and everything with all the pieces that they gave you, and it was just like that.
Not only could you get the color forms, but sometimes the color forms came with shrinky dinks.
No, I used to love shrinky dinks. You know, they actually still make them.
Wow, that's
My
pretty-
wife, because my wife was like she was born in the 80s, so she remembers Shrinky Dinks as well. And she had this like, I want some Shrinky Dinks, and I don't remember where I found it. This was only maybe about 4 years ago at the most. I found found a company that was still selling Shrinky Dinks with the name brand Shrinky Dinks on it, and I bought her a brand new sealed box of Shrinky Dinks. I think to this day she's refused to open them. Like, hey, I don't know what she's scared of, but yeah, I remember I used to have tons of them. They used to come with the pencils and everything, and all the designs and everything. You stick them in the oven, or you could put them in a toaster oven if you so desired. But my dad would never allow something like that. No, you're Evil Knievel. I could just barely make it. Like every once in a while, I catch just a little bit of it.
Yeah. Stick it more to the camera, I think. Yeah, it's clashing with the green screen.
It is. Sometimes a flashlight will help, but yeah, it's a pain. It reflects light a certain way. I don't know what it is about that.
RR says, yeah, Suit and Batman versus Superman is taken right from Frank Miller's art version from Return of the Dark Knight. I always preferred Neil Adams' version of Batman. Yeah.
Frank Miller's version.
And Darius says he remembers color forms. Color forms are awesome. I actually did find a few color forms that were still together over at the old man's house, some of the older ones. And I believe some of them were Superman, too. Because I remember, there was one that was Clark. There was a couple Clark Kents, some Lois Lanes. Just going to take a picture of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Did you see the flash?
Yes.
Yeah, there, I got a good one there.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that.
No, Steven, don't make that mistake. I made that same mistake. He's not going anywhere. It's good to see you. I made that mistake once. I thought it had got to go. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. I seen it and didn't fully recognize what he had put. Don't jump the gun. Don't try to get rid of my audience, Steven. I mean, I know you want to try to get people out of here so you can head off to the forest, but that's not cool.
I missed something.
See, not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. But I mean, I seen some of the other ones that people were talking about earlier. Like I seen, we got another guest with us. What's going on, JJ?
What's going on, guys? Good to see everybody. What's going on?
Chilling.
Sorry I'm late.
We were talking about Transformers. I was talking about the Transformers Sunbow cartoon because it premiered in 1984 on September 17th, which is 4 days from now. Which I will be up in Jersey, so I won't have the time to actually make a video about it. So I figured, what better time to actually talk about it right here on Retro Discussions, talking about old things that I love.
There you go,
bastard. Apparently,
there you go.
Yeah.
You're not the only one, Tommy. Come on.
Now, these people here, these people are so freaking awesome that I ordered it. It was like $59 or $49. And I'm talking. And so there was a special for free shipping. And I was just joking around, LOL, laughing and saying, "Oh, it's funny that this free shipping happens after I got it." They sent me a reply that says, "We gave you a refund for the shipping because we try to do our best for our customers that love us." I was just joking around and I wasn't being serious.
Hell yeah.
They got the joke and it's like, here's $10 off. Here's a refund.
Wow.
So this is like a brand new retro remake of the Evil Knievel stuff.
Original molds, everything. It's made by the same people. EvilKnievel.com.
Awesome.
Yeah. Have you got it out, Bear, and give it a test? Or is it still
I'm not going to open it.
Good man.
Ah,
Good man.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
order
Yeah, well,
another one.
yeah, well. Yeah.
Hey, you know where I
Yeah.
seen this ad?
That's the one you're gonna make.
I seen this
Some
ad on
pretty ads.
Instagram.
What was it?
The ad was on Instagram, and they got a video of these guys with their kids jumping ramps and stuff with this toy. And I remember everything that they were showing and doing. It's like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, Walton. You're not hip enough, but you're hip to be square.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't know why I just feel the need to bust Steven's balls, but
I remember filming
hold on, Jens. Hold on, Jens. Don't make me do it. You son of a bitch. That's it. You're gonna make me do it.
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
You're supposed to do that while the clip is playing, Tommy, not beforehand.
I'll do what I want.
I don't give a damn. I'm just telling you. I'm just giving you proper phantom zoning instructions. Do with it how you see fit.
But I have no etiquette when it comes to stuff like that. I have none whatsoever.
Well, yeah, I know you know etiquette having mofo. What's wrong with you?
It's not my fault. I'm a product of my time. No, I have a lot of respect for Walton, though. Walton's a good guy. As much as I bust his balls, he knows it's all in good fun.
Come on, Steven. I still want my fucking coffee, man. I'm waiting.
I'm having coffee the proper way.
There is no proper way.
This is the proper way.
Not
No,
anymore.
the proper way is just to have
Which
the
way
shit.
you
That's
taking
it.
your coffee, JJ?
I do believe it's a mixture of some dark roast coffee and Italian roast somewhere. And I think it will.
You know what?
That
This is
actually
a funny
sounds
thing,
pretty
real
good.
quick.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is a funny thing. This is a funny thing, real quick, though.
I got Pete's coffee, and man, you should have heard Pete scream when he got ground.
Walton's best brew is coming. Now, here's the funny thing. You want to talk about going old school? Believe it or not, people, this is not a new thing. Enemas are actually extremely old. They were doing them thousands of years ago. They were doing them thousands of years ago in like Peru and places like down in Mexico, and it's nothing new. The Aztecs
Well,
were doing it.
the enema was actually found out by mistake. Back in the day, like what you're talking about, Tommy. They just figured, what would happen if we stuck this up our butt? Well, they found out real quick.
Hey, did you know the coffee bean and the cocoa bean are very similar?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I
Yes.
didn't mean to interrupt you, JJ.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine, Bear. By the way, how you doing?
Pretty good, man. I'm gonna put something in the private chat here, and I want to see what you think about it.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm formulating it right now.
And Curtis, how about you, man? How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I've been better, but that's a story for another time.
Shit. Yeah. Same here.
No, JJ, that all leads back to what you're good at.
Very interesting. I see your hobbies are drinking, smoking weed, and all types of ill shit.
Oh, I can do all that. Yeah.
Are you high?
All right, Tommy and JJ, look at the private chat, and what do you think about that?
I have no clue.
Yeah, I'm wondering what Tommy thinks. Should we ask?
Well, there's quite a few people in there, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a clue.
There's 54 people last I checked in our community chat.
Shit, man, I can't remember what happened yesterday, and you asking me about something else?
Walton, let me tell you something. There's a reason that we know more about it. Me and Culture have actually been doing the legwork for you. This is your product. This is your brand. We are helping promote you, so we're the ones that have to do all the investigative journalism for you, since you don't want to be involved in that. I mean, I understand that you're getting calls from friends and neighbors how to properly give an enema, and I know you're working on the new book, Enema Menace Volume 2. The leaks are true. It was done from behind. And soon to come out is
Wow.
going to be the Fur the Menace. You know, his story about his love for trees. But
Well-
you know what, if somebody doesn't do this backstory stuff for you, you're just going to look like a fool putting this stuff out. We want to make sure when you put your product out, it delivers.
Well, Steven, here's the thing, man. Since they're doing all the legwork,
Somebody's had-
even though your name is on the product, you're getting less of a cut. You know, they're doing all the work.
Yes, hey, many Bothans died bringing us this information,
So-
Walton.
somebody's head of research and marketing.
Oh, Vinny, happy birthday!
Happy
What's going on?
birthday.
Happy birthday, Vinny.
Old Skool.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it. I'm going to stay for a little bit, but I want to swing by at least. How we all doing today?
Hey, you got a happy birthday and high five.
Nice.
We all said it at once.
Hell yeah, you guys rock.
Yeah, after we had that little bit of a talk yesterday, Vinny, I had to throw that little mini happy birthday video up for you.
That was awesome.
So, how young are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm over 40.
That don't mean shit. I'm over 40. I'm almost 50.
Well, if you're over 40, that ain't young.
All right.
Well, I ain't 40.
Still younger than me.
I'll give you some examples of epiphanies. All right. When I turned 30, there was an epiphany. When I turned 44, there was an epiphany. There was a feeling. You felt it. It was like a happening. And so did you turn 44?
No, not yet.
Not yet. When you do, let me know how that is, because 44 is a awesome freaking number, man. That was probably not a bad year for me.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, 44 also means sacred space.
Oh, very cool.
No, nice to know. Nice to know.
Nice, man. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll get a little extra buzz. We'll keep having a good time. We'll feel something.
Did someone say buzz? What?
Yeah, spirits. Ale.
Walton says you have nothing to worry about, Vinny, because Mario doesn't age.
Oh, shit.
Crazy.
That's Walton.
How you doing with that pine oil, Walton? Are you rubbing it in your tender places?
What?
Pine oil as in pitch. I don't know that you want to do that.
He likes trees. I don't know. Tommy, help me out here.
Well, Walton takes the the sap. He takes the syrup. He rubs it into
Douglas
special
fir
places.
pitch. Douglas fir
Yeah,
pitch. Great.
Well, he's into all that. He's into all that. I mean, as long as he doesn't get caught by the national forest, he's rubbing up against it.
But keep in mind that Douglas fir pitch or pine pitch or any evergreen pitch, it's like glue. So it's not lube. Don't mistake that.
You hear that?
Jesus, it's only the biggest goddamn hole in the world.
Oh wow!
You hear that, Walton? Be careful. I know he
And
likes
in some
crazy stuff.
cases, in a lot of native tribes, they used to ingest some of the pitch because it was good for you in certain amounts. I wouldn't recommend you go eat pitch from a tree, but there is some cases, and it not to be construed as medical advice because we don't get that stuff.
Yeah, we don't.
We don't know what the fuck we're talking about. We're just up here chilling out.
Only Alex Jones can give that kind of advice. And if you're gonna put paste in your mouth, make sure it's ivermectin. Infowars.com.
Hey man, the only thing I had to put in my mouth as far as face, man, is a good old fashioned toothpaste. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
Oh, we lost the Jens.
And the ladies.
Yeah.
Hey, he probably had to go to the market to pick up some more squids. He was probably
No.
internet.
Yeah, he had to jump on that total gym real quick.
There you go. Yeah, sometimes when we stream, I gotta shut it off for a second, do my squats, do my push-ups. Yeah.
He had to go work it out. He had to go work it out real quick.
So Vinny, while you're here, one of the things that we talked about earlier, we talked about old school arcade games and what some of our favorite arcade games were.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll pose that question to both Vinny and then JJ.
Street Fighter 2. That was my jam back in the day. You go to the arcade. I don't know how many quarters I would just feed that machine. Yeah, that was one of my top ones for sure.
Now, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you remember like the arcades and the all the malls and everything like that at the time.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, they where I was, we actually had a proper arcade. It was like on a strip mall down here. Pretty cool though. They had a good selection of stuff. Yeah, the X-Men side-scrolling game was one of my favorites as well.
What about the Turtles?
Yeah, oh yeah, Turtles was awesome.
I was talking earlier. I remember like my earliest like multiplayer games that I remember like Final Fight and Streets of Rage.
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah. Hell yeah, man. They had a Superman game as well. Back in the day.
Superman. Let's see, there was quite a few of them at the time.
Yeah, they had some good ones.
Yeah.
Darkstalkers, I also love that game. I like fighting games.
I heard about
that. With the female vampire.
Yeah.
Okay. I played that. Yeah, I played that.
Dimitri, yeah, those things were awesome.
Holy crap.
Mine personally, every time I went to the arcade when I was younger, if they had one, I always beat feed it over to the Afterburner game because I love the fact that you get in this bitch and it moved. You know, I love that shit.
What up, Soul Assassin? He says Superman 64. Is that I could take it? That was the name of that one?
It might have been. I don't remember the name of it. I know that if you had like a second player, it was like the inverted colors. Like it was like the suit was red instead of blue, and the cape was blue. Like that's how they had done it, from what I remember. But it was a side scroller as well. Like there were boards where you had like he was just flying, so you would just use like the laser eyes to shoot everything, meteors and stuff.
Yeah, I'm about to turn 49, and I still have no problem going to Dave and Buster's and playing some arcade games.
There you go. Why the hell not? If it's fun,
And see, like that's another thing we were talking about earlier. Other than like maybe Dave and Buster's and like Chicky and Pete's and
Chuck E. Cheese.
What Chuck E. Cheese you could find. Like I was just talking about earlier. I heard that a lot of Chuck E. Cheeses were closing down. I didn't know if they were starting to close them all down. But I know the one that's nearest to us that one's gone. And when I went up north last time, you know, when I was cleaning out Dad's house, I'd stopped over in PA out towards like Langhorne, and the one that was over there was shut down. I was like, damn. Afterburner. I remember Afterburner.
Yeah, man. I love that game. Yeah. I love any game that simulates movement. Yeah, I love any game that simulates movement. Because to me, it makes the game more real. Whether it's racing, flying, I love that shit, man. Because mainly I've always wanted to be a pilot, and for medical reasons' sake, I can't get a pilot's license. So I just I play it. I play a pilot. Yeah, and
nice, man.
I enjoy it. I really do. But don't get me wrong. I like come on, man. The old machine gun games, man. The first one I ever played was Operation Wolf.
Oh yeah.
Had 2 Uzis on the top of that cabinet. And then like Time Crisis, and then the zombie one. I can't remember the name of it. You go to these places.
Was it House of the Dead? Was that?
Yes, House of the Dead. Yep.
That was pretty cool too.
Anything that simulates realism to me in some form or fashion is what I've always enjoyed. Now, don't get me wrong. I love good old classic arcade cabinets. I do. I've played the shitload out of Pac-Man, Centipede, Galaga, Dig Dug, Mappy.
I remember Dig Dug.
Well, I just heard Walton. He liked to have sex with the machines.
Well, yeah. I want to get to that in a second, but Bruce Lombardo said the Afterburner sit-down game featured in T2. He said he's never seen, and he thinks that James Cameron kept it. It's a good possibility.
He probably did.
So let's get to this here. I like sex. I simulate movement. Walton, I was not aware that they actually came out with a tree humper game, and if it's not actually officially licensed yet, you should probably license it. We should get the team working on that. We could have.
Oh, yeah.
It could be done. It could be a side scroller, just like Rampage, except you have a little Walton scaling trees in the evergreen forest, and just.
I think it was called Timber, man. You played this lumberjack. You go around cutting down trees.
That's perfect. You know what we should do? We should make that game. We'll get the model from Mario, and we'll give him like more of a lumberjack look, and we'll have Walton's face on it instead. And his whole mission is to chop down trees and hump them.
Change that red shirt into something plaid, like a flannel.
Right. Well, I don't know. Well, wait a minute. Shouldn't the lumberjack be his nemesis in the game?
Hey, let's go back just a little bit, and I remember Walton saying, "I'm not hip enough." I guess. Well, throw that picture up there, Tommy. That's still there. So you're saying you're not hip enough to be playing arcade games in a man cave in a garage and a pinball machine?
Bruh.
So you're not that hip enough? Yeah, okay.
I want one of them cabinets. I want one of them damn Raspberry Pi cabinets, really, I do.
And trust me, at one point in time, this cabinet, the Golden Axe, did work. It just stopped working. And he decided that, well, I'm going to get an emulator and put an emulator in it and take the big, huge tube screen out, and voila. Freaking awesome.
Yeah, Soul Assassin, Duck Hunt game that came with the NES back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and we did play Duck Hunt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Mm-hmm.
I sucked at Duck Hunt.
What a bunch of D's. Thank you, Walton. We appreciate that. We appreciate anything to make your day better, buddy.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
we love you, Steven.
The pinball machine does work. It's a Time Fantasy pinball machine. Only there's a couple of the bumpers that just don't work anymore.
Are those yours, Bear?
Those are a buddy of mine, but
okay.
I go over there probably like once a week.
Cool.
And have a couple ales, and I've been talking to him about doing a live stream where we're throwing darts.
Sweet.
Cricket. We play cutthroat cricket.
I love cricket.
Love it. Hey, we burned through 2 boards.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Vinny.
Yeah, I saw Bruce Lombardo before. He had written. He was talking about Pfizer Mectin. Never heard of that, but maybe Fauci knows a little bit about that. Listen, we're gonna play games, and the loser is gonna get 5 shots in a row.
But to me, the possible coolest game I ever seen, actually, I don't know if you guys seen it or not, was in a James Bond movie.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's Never Say Never Again. Sean Connery is sitting there playing up against a guy on this big ass, it looks like it's about as long as a pool table. And it was this virtual game. And I love that thing. I fell in love with it.
Is it an actual existing game?
I doubt it.
Wow.
I doubt it.
Too bad it's not. Cool.
Because you got two flight sticks in front of you. Wow. And you got this big window about halfway through that you're looking through. But on this window is where the holographics start to happen. Mm-hmm. And you just, oh man, that is awesome. Hang on, let me see if I can find a clip of it. Y'all go ahead and keep talking.
That was in GoldenEye, right?
No, Never Say Never Again.
Oh, Never Say Never Again. Okay. I'm going to have to watch that movie.
Yeah, so it says, and I believe it was Bruce Lombardo that brought it up earlier, Adam's Family Pinball.
Oh, dude.
The warmer piece.
I do remember that from the James Bond. I just looked it up as well. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. Then again, I was never the biggest James Bond fan.
Right.
I liked a lot of the vehicles and stuff that came out, and I used to collect them. Like, do you remember? Like, they had like I believe it was Matchbox that made them, or maybe it was another company. But there was one of those companies that made like the little miniature James Bond cars. Like, they even had the one that was like the Aston Martin, where it actually had the a button on the side, and it would launch the guy out of the passenger seat. And then they had the Lotus in the submarine form.
That's cool.
I knew one kid, he actually had this one. It was actually the Lotus, but it transformed from the regular car into the submarine. and it had like launching missiles on it and everything. It was a little bit. It was larger than like the traditional Hot Wheels or Matchbox size. It was like the next scale up.
Yeah.
All die cast. Wow, it was amazing looking toy.
Yeah, there it is.
I was about to bring up a shot of it from the actual. I found a video of it.
Oh, you did? Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna play the video. But this is just paused. Basically, what you guys are seeing right there. But
it's pretty sick.
Almost like Battleship, kind of.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. No, yeah, it's been a while since I've seen the movie. That's why I didn't remember it. But yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it was a great Bond. Excellent. But yeah, guys, I am gonna have to get going though. I'm gonna be on ETEPS in a little bit as well.
Yeah, I know. I'm probably gonna go for about another 9 minutes roughly, and I'm gonna call it a day because I still have to get a few things together and get ready for my trip up north. So I want to keep everything simple tomorrow. I don't want to be rushing around the last minute and doing a whole bunch of shit. So whatever extra I need to get done tonight is what I need to get done tonight, and then
yeah, of course, man, of course. Dude, yeah, I hope you have a safe trip. Everybody, it was great seeing you guys. Everyone in chat too. Everyone who wished me a happy birthday today. You guys are the best. You know, I really appreciate it.
Before you go, Vinny, do you want to plug Kraken?
Yeah, we could do that. Pull up real quick.
But yeah, to me that was and if you got hit with a missile, it shocked the handpiece.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, that's right. So,
I'm not too crazy about that little feature, but still, I love the way it looked because it was old school, and the people that made the movie brought basically high tech computer graphics into it. I was like, man, I was a kid. I was like, man, I want that.
Oh yeah, it's like the first time we saw stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody, this is Shadow the Kraken. So if you guys are into pirate stories, this is definitely for you. I am working my ass off on it right now. Literally, that's what I have Photoshop open. That's usually when you don't see me on camera. A few people, they went, oh, that's what Vinny looks like, because they went over to my stream last night. But yeah, I'm working very hard on this. So if you guys are into really cool pirate stories, this one's going to have a lot of twists and turns, betrayal, action, adventure, hot women, beautiful locations, brutality, awesome treasures, really cool treasure maps. This one specifically, it's carved into a skull. You're going to find out about all that great stuff. But yeah, man, so if you guys can support, I'd really appreciate it. I'm trying to get the numbers up on this one. It would be great to hit 20,000 on it. Right now we're at 17. I do have the majority of the work is done. I'm still going in a real timely fashion with this project as well. So I should be having it done close to the end of the year, bleeding into early 2022. But this is campaign number 6, so you can definitely trust me. I have 2 other campaigns that are still active as well. You can find them on the bottom of this campaign. If you guys are looking for,
everybody buy this book.
Can't wait for mine.
Yes, please do.
Damn right. I can't wait for mine either.
Yeah. It's some new artwork I put up, I think it was last week. But yeah, like I said, I'm working hard on it. I want to show more pages, but I can't because we're getting into spoiler territories. But yeah, I mean, I think what I have up here is still a lot of images. So it gives you guys, I think, a pretty good idea of the type of artwork and story you're going to get. There is going to be a supernatural twist in the story as well. Whoa, what was that?
Tina's in chat. Hail, Tina. How you doing?
Oh, hail,
what's
Tina.
going on,
That's
Tina?
right.
Welcome.
Hey, Tina.
So yeah, check out all this great stuff. Like I said, at the bottom of the campaign, like I said, I have so much stuff on here. But at the bottom here, you can click onto the links. If you want these books, these 4 down here, they ship immediately, like same day or next day. I pack them up and I put them in the mail. One of which is a hardcover, 100-page ghost story that's Through the Woods. That's the bottom link here. And the top link is these 3 books, City of Venus, and 2 art books. And each of those art books, they're 52 pages each. I got just tons of different artwork in there. characters you're getting to know, movie, TV stuff, you name it, everything's in there. But hell yeah, guys! Once again, thank you so much. Like I said, I got to get going, but I appreciate all the support you guys have been showing me, and all the kind messages and all that great stuff today. Like I said, you guys are just amazing. Don't forget, ETEP is going to be on. We're going to be on tonight over there. So when you're done watching Tommy and all the great people here, head on over. Give them a raid. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
There you go.
A guinea pig raid. That would be good.
That's it. So
Yeah, it looks really good, man.
I'm going to give an option actually for everybody in the chat today. We're actually going to be trying to perform 2 raids from everybody that's here, because I know not everybody particularly always goes to one channel. So we were going to be giving 2 raids today. You can head over and support ETEP Wakuyan and go over there and visit Vinny again, who's going to be over there. And also we have our man Darius, who's going to be running another live stream tonight as well. And Darius is another awesome supporter of the community as well. So y'all take your pick. If you can actually watch both of them, that would be fantastic. Give them both the guinea pig raid when we wind up ending. But guys are amazing. Yeah, thanks. I would have tried to post it again, Vinny, but I get worried about opening up the YouTube and posting it. I did it earlier, and I seen my thing was glitching a little bit. I can't keep all these tabs open.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah,
problem. No worries.
Crashola.
I dropped the link anyway and all that great stuff. So, hell yeah, man. Thanks again, everybody. And yeah, please have a great night, regardless what you do. Yeah, we'll talk soon.
Awesome. Once again,
enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your day, Vinny.
Thanks, man. We'll do.
Happy birthday, man. Take it easy.
Thanks
Yeah,
again.
take
Take care.
All right, take care, Vinny. Yeah, so I'm probably going to be wrapping up soon because I do still have a lot more stuff to do. I'll probably go for another 5 to 10 minutes tops. I really don't want to run over everybody else that's going to be doing their stuff soon. So, any last thoughts on some of the other stuff? Because we were actually talking about the Transformers Sunbow cartoon, JJ.
Oh well, I watched it. You know, I preferred it over He-Man, and I like it, man. To me, the movie, if it's not the same people, it reminds me a lot of the cartoon. And I loved it, man. I was a kid, man. Who didn't love watching shit transform into other things? That was some awesome stuff, man. You know, I love that cartoon. I wish Hasbro would go in and do what they're doing with the original G.I. Joe cartoons, man. They got a 24-hour, 7 days a week live stream going on in some of those episodes. All right, do that shit for the original Transformers as well.
Well, they do have something on. It's called Hasbro Pulse, where apparently they show some of the old Transformers cartoons. Now, this was maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. They actually had. It was just called the Hasbro site, and you could actually used to be able to download it as an app, and you could go on there and you could watch Transformers, you could watch G.I. Joe. If you were into it, I think they had the old My Little Pony on there. They had a lot of those old cartoons on this old Hasbro channel, but they eventually defunct it and they shut it down. And they were supposed to change everything over to another one, and I think that's what Hasbro Pulse is. But
Hasbro has their own YouTube channel, and that's where you see a lot of the toy commercials and stuff like that. What they're bringing out, but also they're, like I said, they're doing this 24/7 live stream also.
Wow.
And if you could find something like that for like other content, you know, if it's a YouTube channel, I'll check it out. Hasbro Pulse.
Yep.
Fellas, I just found a region-free 30th edition of Blu-ray, the Transformers, the movie, the animation.
I just bought that on Blu-ray.
Used good, $50.
Nah, dude, nah. I just bought mine. I bought the 2-pack, the DVD and Blu-ray. Cost me no more than $20.
Oh wow! Where'd you get that through?
I think it was Walmart.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, you can go find shit at Walmart, man.
Oh, yeah. They got good deals online.
trust me, when I start looking for stuff like that, Amazon is definitely the last place.
I reference Amazon to find rare stuff and to see if I can find other places to compare prices.
Yeah. And they're usually pretty good.
I've noticed that about Amazon. There's a lot of their stuff that's overpriced on there, like extremely overpriced. And
the one which region is this one? This one's 1999 Transformers the movie. It's a Blu-ray. I think it is region free.
Actually, the movie came out in '86.
This is the December 16, 2008 Blu-ray edition. And
that's probably a newer. Is it a newer movie?
No, it's the animation. It's the animation.
Oh, you're talking about it was released. It was re-released in 2006.
Yes, it was the remaster, and it's a region-free version, I do believe. Trying to, sometimes they don't give you all the information on these things. It's okay. Yeah, it's region-free, remastered, and there's only 4 left. $19.99. That's not a bad price for the Blu-ray.
Hang on, I'll tell you exactly what I paid for it. Yeah. Hang on, I'm looking.
Okay.
So, Kurt, what movie you're going to be watching next?
It's Goodfellas. I just watched it.
Oh, which one was it?
Goodfellas.
Oh, okay. Because I know you just had that poll up on your channel.
Yeah, well, I got it wrong. When I searched The Irishman, the movie Kill the Irishman came up, and I thought it was that, and it showed Christopher Walken on there. So I got all excited. I'm like, oh wow, I didn't know he was in this. It's not even the Irishman. So I had to just switch it up at the last second. I'm like, oh well, I can watch this one then.
Go ahead, JJ.
No, fucking computer's doing something fucking weird right now. But I paid. I got it from Walmart and it was $21.49.
Oh, the Blu-ray versions.
Yeah.
The Blu-ray and DVD together is $12.
Oh wow!
See the Transformers the movie 30th anniversary DVD and digital copy.
Oh, I got that on DVD.
Blu-ray is $12.99 and it includes the Blu-ray and DVD for $12.99.
There you go.
And it's pre-order. This is pre-order. Holy cow!
That's
$9.99.
That's what I paid for G.I. Joe.
I'm like pre-order. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna pre-order that. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, is that the G.I. Joe the movie?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna be using when we do G.I. Joe, when we do on the random movie review.
Oh, awesome.
Yep, because I got a way to put the DVD in and share the screen and have fun.
Yeah, I think that was one of the movies that I never really seen all the way through. If there's anybody in the chat that has a link, because I can't see it from StreamYards, do me a favor and drop Darius Munchausen's link in there, and also drop Etep Wakuian, the Place to Be Reviews link in the chat. And if you go over there, make sure you put the hashtag Guinea Pig Raid on either one of those channels. We'd really appreciate it. And, of course, the people on those channels actually really appreciate it if we're sending people over there and they know we're watching out for them, too. Because, a lot of those people watch out for us and they send people over when they can. So, you always give the reach arounds.
Darius, man, I don't know what the hell's going on, but Darius is killing it right now. His first 2 live streams, both of them over 100 views.
Awesome.
He is kicking it for some reason. But hey, I'm proud of him, man. That means people want to watch. People are interested.
What's up, Slasher?
Hey, Slasher. About to go and hang out with Darius here in a minute.
Yeah, I would try to drop the links again, but like I said, the first time I tried dropping Vinny, when I put Vinny's links in, everything started like glitching on me. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to try that again. I don't know what it is. It's just been the past like week or two. It's been getting like kind of funny. I think probably needs to be rebooted again.
What link can you drop? Oh, Darius.
Curtis has got Darius, and then we need
Yeah.
Etep Wakuyan.
He's not live yet.
Well, he's supposed to be going. He's supposed to be going live. Maybe he's not going to 8:30.
All right, that
unless they're doing it at a different channel.
The Transformers the movie 35th edition is a pre-order. It releases on the 28th of this month.
That's my birthday. Sweet.
Yeah, and I pre-ordered it. It's $14.
From where?
No shipping. Walmart. I'm going to put the link in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, because I just got G.I. Joe, and I already got it on DVD.
And this run has the Blu-ray and the DVD included.
Oh, nice. Sweet.
$12.99, man. That's a great price.
Hell yeah.
So this price was just a hair under 17.
Oh man, that is awesome.
Oh yeah. There's even I think there's a Steel series too. $1.99 Steel series.
I like.
Oh, it's the 4K version. The 4K version is $21.99
for Transformers.
Yeah. Yeah, the 30
no shit.
Yes, unbelievable.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of the prices for the Transformers the movie are probably going to go up because they got that special event coming up.
So get them now before they go up.
Yeah, well, you know what the special event is, right?
Because the list price was $29.99 for the 4K Transformers the movie, the animation.
Hey, do you know what the special event is, right?
I'm drawing a blank.
They're going to release it in theaters. The 86 movie. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That would be awesome to go see in the theater.
Wasn't it released in theaters in a limited way?
Well, no. The first time it was released in theaters, they released it normally like they did with My Little Pony, but it flopped. So it wasn't in theaters for very long. And that was the reason why G.I. Joe the movie went straight to VHS. It was a straight to tape release. It was because both of those movies flopped, which was sad because Citizen, they're putting it back in theaters. Check it out. Just look up Transformers 1986 movie, and you're going to see probably one of the first search results is going to tell you it's being re-released in theaters. I am looking forward to that. But
Transformers More Than Meets the Eye DVD $4.99. Am I seeing this right?
Might be used.
It's on. It's one of the sellers on Walmart.
Huh. Well, it might be a scaled down version because sometimes they have the ones with no inserts and none of the fancy artwork, and it's just basically just a disc. And
$8.12 delivery fee.
Yeah, sometimes they might actually be a really short one. Like I have a couple of them where they're only a few episodes. It's not like a full season or nothing like that. It's just a few episodes. Like it could be the first 4 episodes or something, and that's all they have on it. Sometimes they have ones where it's episodes from out of order from the first season. I actually have a few discs like that, but
yeah, it's unbelievable. It's called More Than Meets the Eye DVD.
Damn,
never seen this
$6.85.
But I am going to wrap it up here. I need to get a few things done, and I need to get myself ready for tomorrow. But I appreciate everybody that's come by already. Everybody that's in the chat. Make sure you either check out Etep Wakuyan's Place to Be Reviews and check out his live stream that's going to be going, or go by and see our boy Darius as he gets his live stream going, which I think he already has going, right, Curtis?
Yeah, Darius is going.
Okay. Yeah, make sure you stop by and give him the hashtag guinea pig raid. I appreciate everybody that's come by. Bear, let them know what you got going on and where you're at.
Well, I got a couple new songs from Saturday and Sunday, and man, I've got 25 songs I got to make slideshows for. I got a backlog like you wouldn't believe, And I'm probably going to be doing some earlier live streaming than compared to the later. And I had normally Sundays. I used to do Bear to Core on Sundays. It was either a video upload or I did a live. And Sundays will be Bear to the Core. And Saturday is the late edition. And whenever there's 4 people on the panel, every now and then the 4 horsemen ride. Yeah,
awesome.
So see you Saturdays. And Saturdays, the preferred drink is cognac. And Hennessy Black Reserve. That's the preferred drink. And Saturdays is the night where we relax and we have some drinks. And hey, Jen Spender, sorry I left Tommy, man. My internet was down. Yeah, it happens, man. It happens all the time.
It's all good, Jens. Don't worry about it, buddy.
The dreaded ping that the internet company sends and it resets your router.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, it happens all the freaking time, man. It drives me nuts. I'll be sitting watching something, then all of a sudden the sound will go out, stop. I'm like, oh, okay, pause. The router's doing something.
So make sure you swing by and check out Bear. Make sure you stop by for the live streams and check it out and listen when he gets funky and he starts grooving down with some music. JJ, thank you for coming. What do you got going on, buddy?
Well, when I leave here, I'm going over to Darius Munchausen's channel and join in over there and hang out with my boy Darius, man. If you really haven't had a chance to sit and talk with this man, he's very intellectual, but man, he also knows his shit too. So he's a great guy. Go check him out. I think he's one of the ones that's really going to deserve a big hit. He's already got 100 subscribers. His first live stream, he already had 100 subscribers. People have been waiting on this man, so go check him out if you can. Tomorrow night, Tuesday night, I'm over on Chaos Central, just over on Chaos Central. That's right, everything's over there now. For the Chaos List at 9 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, I'm doing a random movie review. This week's we're doing 1993, I believe, Demolition Man. So come by and check it out. We're physically going to get together and watch the movie and talk about it when we're done. And yeah, man. Sorry I was late, Tommy, but thanks for having me, man.
No, it's no problem. There's no such thing as late. And make sure to stop by and see Jens Petter on his channel. He does some random streams every once in a while, and then he goes into full on soy rage when he has his soy boy bashing live streams. So
your soy nuts.
And of course, go ahead.
Those
Bear.
of you that are subbed to all of us, make sure you're still subbed because YouTube is just randomly subbing people, and I think it's just a random glitch. Because it would be a horrible thing if some random person that on the inside was just doing that on purpose. I don't think they would ever do that.
Well, I do. I don't trust them. But
you didn't. You could have cut a hole through my sarcasm and made a donut.
Yeah. I know.
Damn.
But Curtis, tell everybody what you got going on. Which movies that you're watching next?
I just got a quick Rick and Morty season 5 episode 1 reaction. Wasn't very reactive to it, but I love the show. But it was really quick, so happy that's done. And then Goodfellas coming down the pipeline. That's about it.
Awesome. Make sure that you stop by and see Curtis YZ and check out his movie reviews that he's doing. I know it's actually been a while since you really got into all the movie reviews. I remember some of the ones you used to do early on, and then mostly you were doing a lot of the gaming. So.
Oh yeah, I need to just transfer those over to the other channel.
But yeah, I appreciate everybody to stop by. Make sure Curtis's link is in the chat too. Curtis.
Oh, yeah, I can.
Oh, and be sure to check out Eric Clapton's new song. Here, I put the article in the chat. There's a link to this new song in the article. Check it out. You'll like it.
Awesome. And thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it greatly. You all are amazing. And we say this a lot, but you guys are the best chat on YouTube. You make this thing happen every week. You make this fun with everything that you chime in about and what you love from years past. And I do appreciate it. And make sure you go over and see Darius as we wrap up here and give him that hashtag guinea pig raid. Or if you stop by and check out Etep Wakuian and the Place B reviews, make sure you give it to him. And if you do go by Etep's again, make sure you tell Vinny happy birthday again. And we are going to take you out the same way that we brought you in. And
hey, Darius, I'm not seeing a notification for your live stream yet.
It should be going, right?
Darius, notification. I know I'm subbed.
Well, I mean, that happens, but we will catch you all next week. Until then, be well, my friends. Remember, never let anybody tell you what you can and can't say, what you should or should not watch, because your silence gives consent.
Indeed.
I think one of these times I'm going to add a few more things to this one.